Hello, members. Welcome to Tanks Invest. Talk about investing, finance, and professional. For today's times only, the investment talk today will be Ethereum ETH. First, I want to say good morning, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are, and also happy Saturday, everybody. With respect to recording time of 8:09 a.m. on the Eastern Time, Ethereum currently trading $3,508, down up about 1.61% so far. Respect to overall crypto market is rebounding ever since the sell-off that we experienced yesterday across the market. Not more of a normalization, right? We're still hovering on a sideways fashion with the option expiry that occurred. On the equity side, the triple witching occurrence, and also with respect to the negative media affectation around the COVID variants news, and obviously with respect to the FOMC meeting that's expected to happen next week on the 22nd and 23rd, with all of that stir subsequently drive some volatility into the market, right? And when you see a relatively sizable red day on the crypto side, subsequently a rebound on the international side as people start to wake up and buy up the scoop, right? So with respect to current level right now for Ethereum, we are above the $3,472, which is, technically we are trading on a sideways fashion, hovering above, trying to get to the next level, right? And you can see that we attempted to try on the 16th of September, and we try to basically get up to the next level of resistance, 3,843. But that's a relatively large gap from here, right? That's about $300 from here. So that's something we have to watch out for. We are still within the denial and obviously the anxiety stage. I would say we're more of an early part of the denial stage right now, basically try to reject despite the positive news we've been hearing so far, right? On Dogecoin, again, stay within the frame of reference. 20 cents would be the level that I would ideally start to dollar cost average at, because that's a good bottom that we're seeing right now. For Cardano, we are still hovering on a sideways fashion. The risk versus reward ratio is relatively not the most optimal at the current level, because we do have a relatively large gap. So it needs to fill that gap for us to sustain the later surge. So you can see that we crashed down on the 7th, which we got to the $2.05. So I think the first level for you to even think about buying would be the $2.05 first. That's when the RSI is extremely depleted. Also on the MACD will start to form a outlier to a point that you need to just reverse that apex immediately from there. Solana is surging today with respect to the consecutive sell-off that we've had today. So is this green surge sustainable? Let's just look at it psychologically. I'll say overall RSI was still overbought, right, with the 61.5 scale of the 70, which is the max basically. And we are forming a slow curvature at the moment. So there might be some short-term volatility that is more often on the bullish side. I wouldn't be surprised. Because of the selling pressure that we've had so far. We're basically bouncing exactly where we talked about, right? The 144, and that's exactly what we're doing. We said that we're going to be bouncing that, but we know that the level of the current level is not sustainable because there is no consolidation. We just sold off from there. This is mainly driven by public investors. So the next thing we're going to see a whale or some sort of a large institution that's going to be incentivized to sell. And next thing we're going to sell back off, right? Because again, RSI is still overbought. So we have to be mindful of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a subsequent red days coming despite this green day that we're seeing today. Today is more of a rebound normalization. XRP, I would say the gap is relatively, comparable, but I think that it's much better because it's a more substantive platform that would form. So buying at the $1 would be not a bad idea, to be honest with you. But 88, 78, 69 would still be my level that I would be dollar cost averaging at. So with respect to Ethereum, going back to it, we are in the denial stage. And with respect to the MACD and RSI is still at the 53.83 level. So we need to just watch out because again, it's going to take some pressure for us to get up to the 3,800, which is $300 away. So on the news front, talking about Bazinga 15 hours ago, there isn't a lot of news. Maybe I just woke up too early this morning. $1.2 billion of Ethereum disappeared from exchanges yesterday, or did it? So based on this is basically an article around according to a Thursday tweet by an on-chain data firm into the block, talking about $1.2 billion of Ether leaving the centralized cryptocurrency exchange. And this is something that raised a lot of questions, like how do we know the large portion that aren't just like exchange shuffling into new wallets? Like how do we know? Is this just like maybe transaction volume, which can be just like people transitioning their holding into another wallet or a hard wallet or another account, etc., etc. So the numbers might be a little bit more of an embellishment. It needs to be further adjusted. And it's also unclear which data source is right. We don't know. People have different speculations, right? In terms of the right adjustment levels, right? We know the volume, but is that the true representation, if you may, right? And it's entirely possible that the block failed to filter out some crypto exchange internal transactions. Or with respect to other media application companies, talk about Glassnodes, wasn't aware of that the exchange wallet from which bulk of the outflows originated from either. So it's hard to quantify without adjusting for the true number when there is such a lack of infrastructure or some sort of like quantitative mechanism that can allow you to do so, right? So 1.2, I guess, but more just good to know, but is it really true? Something we don't know, to be honest with you. The next one is more regurgitation news. Talk about 20 hours ago. Talk about Avalanche, which is another crypto. Rallies about 60% in 7 days. Raises $230 million to jumpstart DeFi ecosystem. Another comparable cryptocurrencies that's been experiencing some rally. These altcoins are just a lot more volatile, exponential, with a lot of hype and media manipulations, if you may, right? But also people FOMOing it because altcoins are typically released on a relatively lower price level. So I guess people are, would be chasing in when there is a unique value proposition that incentivize people to buy in for a quick pump and quick gains, if you may. Another one, talk about Shiba Inu soars about 25% on Friday as Dogecoin copycat makes Coinbase debut. So another altcoin news, if you may, Shiba Inu. I have a dog that is a Shiba Inu named Finn. So it's interesting to see that Finn has, his value has risen 25% on Friday. So as a joke, obviously. And then the last one is just another regurgitation news on Bazinga. Talk about Cathie Wood says Ethereum clearly satisfies a huge unmet needs. So another regurgitation talking about how much Cathie believes in it, right? I think she quotes something about at least $12,000 by end of 2021 or Q1 2022. And then subsequently, she also said something about in the next 5 years, Ethereum should technically reach about $50,000. So, which is amazing. I am looking forward to her projections to come true, based on her research and quantitative analysis that she has done with her team of researchers already. So that's something that I personally have a target of 25,000. That's my personal sweet spot price target for me to exit. But 50K, that's amazing too. So I'm not I don't question her. I'm kidding. But obviously, it's something that we have to be watching and understanding her thesis around like why she believes in it. Like how does she reverse engineer that number to back out that 50K price target, obviously, right? So let's go back to the cheat sheet. We know that we're in the anxiety and denial stage right now. So we are hovering on a sideways fashion, swinging up and down, up and down, up and down right now. So it's not a surprise that we can continue to see these type of sideways fashion. It's an emotional roller coaster, if you may. I totally get it. But to stay within the frame of reference, we can look into the price target sheets that we have here, right? Which is, for me, within my risk tolerance, 3,000, 2,750, 2,450 would be the level that I would be buying at, right? Because I believe the market cycle will go through that oscillation. They eventually will get there, right? But if you bought in the current level, just hold, for long term, because we could get to these price targets later down in the future, right? It's just about your patience, like how much are you willing to invest your time into it going forward, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Really appreciate you for dropping by on this Saturday. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and feel free to give me a shout if you have any questions, right? And stay tuned for this to come out. Take care.